What's going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Military Cashflow. And today we're going to talk about 12 benefits of joining the military. So many times when people join the military, they got a few ideas of what's going on, but they don't really consider everything, right, when they're looking to try this new venture. So there's a lot more stuff in there that people are not aware of, and we're going to discuss all of that. So it's going to be a quick, short video, but before we get to it, obviously, guys, hit the like button, hit the notifications bell, subscribe, and leave comments below. So if you're already serving, why did you join, right? Put that in the comments. And then, hey, if you're considering joining, what are some of the things that you are joining for? What are some of the reasons you're joining for? Or maybe some of the benefits that you're looking forward to taking advantage of. All right, so let's get right to it. So the first thing, guys, is a guaranteed paycheck. Guaranteed paycheck. Yeah, it's not always considered the most luxurious paycheck, right? Or the most high income earning job. But no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, you will be getting a check on the 1st and the 15th every month. It's extremely stable. In addition to those paychecks, you also have the opportunity to get cash bonuses throughout your career. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities. If you know how to budget your money, you know how to manage your finances, you can be in a very, very, very well-off financial position 2 years, 3 years into your military career. Super simple. So that's the first and foremost, because you can't really get fired in the military either, right? Where another job you might get fired, you're in a contract. Now you can get in trouble. You can get in trouble, but typically they don't garnish the wages. They may just give you some reprimands, additional duties, things of that nature. And if you get too bad, then you get kicked out, but you don't really get fired. So guaranteed paycheck is number one. Number two is education benefits. Yes, people know a lot about tuition assistance, right? And how does that work, right? How do you actually get a school paid for with tuition assistance? But you also have the GI Bill, which is so powerful. Now, there's different variations of the GI Bill and what are some of the additional benefits and how it works, but you have a lot of opportunities to go out and receive quality education and have the military cover it, right? And now there's some institutions, for example, like Harvard. Harvard may not necessarily be free, but in addition to using something like a GI Bill to cover a majority or at least like the state tuition average over there, there's also things like the Yellow Ribbon Program, right? And that may be state specific, school specific, so forth and so on, but there's additional grants and funds that can help supplement some of those even higher institutions' tuitions, right? So that's a beautiful thing. Now, number three, you have advanced and specialty training. Now let's think about this for a little bit. Depending on what you want to experience in your life, right, or what you want to do after your military career, there is a whole bunch of opportunities for you to continue to go and grow at the military's expense. So, for example, if you want to jump out of planes, obviously you have airborne, but they also have HALO, high altitude, low opening, right, which is basically skydiving, right? And the military will essentially send you off to be trained as an independent skydiver. That's amazing. Now, if you continue to progress through there, you can get all the way to the point where you are now essentially a certified instructor, all paid by the military. So when it's all said and done, you can be a skydive instructor in the civilian world, right? Same thing with the combat diver course. By the time you complete that combat diver course, you're actually considered a master diver, right? Which is something that you would have to spend a lot of money out in the civilian world to accomplish. Those are just two, extreme examples, but they have many other advanced and specialty trainings to provide as well. The next thing is every year there is 30 days of accrued paid vacation. Damn, right? You can basically take leave, right? Go away for a month, as long as obviously the command approves it, but you can go away for a month and you'll still get your paycheck on the 1st and on the 15th. In addition to that, to kind of, tie into that same little benefit is that there's a lot of like 4-day vacations, right? Because almost every month there's a national holiday or a recognized holiday. And so we'll get a 4-day weekend at least once a month. Many people don't know that. So when you really look at it, yes, you work a lot, don't get it twisted, but there's a lot of opportunities for you to kind of take some time off, right? Or during a pandemic, get on quarantine for 2 weeks and all this other stuff where you're still getting paid. And if you don't use that vacation, you can actually accrue it over time. Now there's a couple different things, use or lose if you accrue too much, this, that, and the third. But long story short, say at the end of your career, if you want to sell off some of those days, you can do that. And there's a lot of little benefits when you tack on something like a skill bridge program and you sell off your leave. It's almost like you're getting an exit bonus. I love it. Okay. The next benefit is travel. I know, sounds kind of strange. And most people don't think travel when they think military. Now, in addition to going to places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, all these other places, there's also so many opportunities for you to travel due to duty station, right? You can go to Germany, you can go to Japan, right? All these different places. Obviously, across the US is training stations or duty stations, but there's also training venues, okay? Different places, different strokes for different folks. You guys can obviously travel across the US, but there was times where I went to Germany just on small special assignments, right? 30 days, 15 days, whatever the case may be. There's also times where entire units will go to Germany or Nevada or whatever else, right? For their unit training events. But you'll be traveling on the military's dime, okay? They're going to pay for your room, board, and your travel, and they pay you a nice little per diem. You gotta love that. A little extra check, right? A little extra money every time you travel. And so if you get real savvy with it, you could take that per diem, spend it wisely while you're gone, and you essentially accumulated another bonus to then invest or do whatever you gotta do, right? All right, the next benefit is that you actually have the option between a full-time or a part-time obligation when you join the military. Obviously, full-time would be active duty, okay? Everybody's aware of that. That means you're serving full-time. That is your everyday job. And the other alternative would either be a National Guard or a reserve component of your branch, where you typically will do 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year, sometime in the summertime frame. So you can have and enjoy a full civilian life, right? Doing whatever you want. You can be a teacher, a cop, a bum, whatever you want to do, right? But then you can also go to the military. You'll get paid for your days that you're there, and you're also accumulating all the other benefits that the military has to provide. Now, with that being said, if you're doing it part-time, there are a couple of other stipulations in order for you to qualify for the GI Bill and all that other stuff, but it's something that you can strategize while you're there because it's not taking much time out of your life anyway, okay? The next benefit is tax-free room and board and other allowances, right? So basic allowance for housing, BAH, is a supplemental income that every soldier will get. Obviously, you have to hit a certain rank before you qualify, or you have to be married or have a dependent for you to qualify. But as soon as you get that BAH, it depends on your geographical location, okay? So let's just say you're in North Carolina, right? Fayetteville, North Carolina, to be in fact, at Fort Bragg. The average BAH based on that area is roughly about $1,200. That's $1,200 a month that you get aside from your base pay, right? Besides that, that is tax-free, meant to be used for housing. Now, if you're in New York, it's probably $2,500. If you're in California, it's probably $3,000, right? Because the cost of living is a little bit more expensive, but it's a tax-free incentive. The reason why that's so important is because you can sit back and when you file your taxes at the end of the year, you're paying taxes on your taxable income, which would be your base pay, right? And maybe if you had a specialty pay, right? Maybe jump pay or something like that. Those are all taxed incomes. So for all intents and purposes, you can turn around and say, let's say you made $50,000 in taxable income. That's what you're going to get taxed on. But you had $1,200 each and every month that is tax-free that you don't have to file taxes on. That's a huge thing. So basic allowance for housing and basic allowance for substance, right? Which is basically your food allowance, right? Your BAS, same thing, tax-free. Huge benefit that people are not aware of, that it's actually tax-free. It's actually tax-free, right? And so that helps out a lot. Again, when you strategize, how do I use tax-free money to grow tax-free wealth? Ooh, if y'all want to see a video on that, drop it in the comments below and I'll be sure to make another video. All right, the next benefit is health and dental care. It's a given, right? Already know if you join any sort of government entity, municipal entity, police force, whatever, it's a government job. Typically they add benefits. But health and dental can be extremely expensive if you're outside of the military and you're paying for yourself, or even if a provider or your employer offered you some sort of like basic entry level package, right? In the military, it's the full thing. It's the creme de la creme. You and your family completely covered when you're active duty. Yo, that is a huge cost saving that when you really think about it, yes, We don't get paid a ton in the military, but we're saving so much with our tax-free supplements and the fact that we don't have to spend a dime on health or dental. It's huge. And this is how people become millionaires in the military, right? Because they're actually saving money and they're using tax-free money to grow tax-free wealth. All right, enough of that one. The next thing is you actually get to use the military's commissary and military exchange stores, okay? What does that mean? Well, the commissary is basically a grocery store that's on base, and the military exchange is basically a Walmart, okay? Now, the way it kind of works is basically they're buying these things almost at cost, and they're passing on the savings to you, to the military servicemen and women. What does that mean? It means you essentially can go in there and buy stuff for cheap, right? And you have access to those things. You're getting a major discount. Now, I will say this. I've sometimes found better deals on Amazon and better deals on Walmart. That's true. But to have it all one location, easy access, and gives you an opportunity to go in and actually bargain hunt a little bit more. If you really were that frugal individual, you can again save a lot of money by using that benefit that so many people are not aware of. All right, next benefit. We get special home loans and discounts on damn near everything. The special home loan, as you all know, is the VA home loan. And in the link below is a great VA home loan video that Wynn made. And you guys can go in there and actually learn how to use the VA loan to invest in real estate. Ooh, that's some good stuff. But discounts, guys. Everybody's got a military discount. Almost everybody, not everybody, but I mean, Subway's got a military discount, the little sandwich shop, right? You can go in all these different places. Car washes may have them, and you can get a military discount. Now, the discounts aren't necessarily much. It may be anywhere from 5 to 15%, but over time, guys, all those little discounts count, right? As we learn to make more money, we got to learn how to keep more money. And by using discounts that the military provides, it's excellent. Now, the next benefit that you get is the brotherhood that you create, right? The actual relations, the networking that you actually accomplish while you're in the military, right? So a lot of people would join the military, especially the younger crowd, and they'll say that the reason they're joining is because they want to defend our nation. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But I almost feel like a lot of times it's very cliche, right? People are saying that because they believe that's what's the right thing to say, or that's what people want to hear. Bullshit, right? People are joining for many different reasons. It could be family tradition. It could be for some of these benefits that we're talking about. But what you see over time is as you're serving, the people that you meet in the military become tighter than family sometimes, because you're sharing some very difficult times and you're spending a lot of time in close quarters with a lot of these individuals. So you almost find yourself having another family, which makes it so much harder when you deploy or when people change duty stations or whatever. But I now have friends all across the globe that if they needed something, I'd drop what I was doing and I'd help them out because of the relationships we made in the military. Now, this is something that's very, very hard to mimic or to try to make as an example in the civilian world. Okay, it really is. A lot of times you may go to work and you have a work colleague and that's fine. But the closest thing I can think of where you have to go through a struggle and you kind of grow together and you really start to depend on each other would be something like organized sports, right? If you think about it, you guys are all on a team. Everybody needs to pull their weight because if one person doesn't, everybody gets hurt. Maybe organized sports is probably the closest thing you can do it, but something about the military, something about it. You're gonna establish friendships that you would never believe, and the network that you get from that, right? If you can reach out and say, "Yeah, I served," it immediately just kind of like right? And somebody else who's a veteran is like, "All right, let me talk a little bit more to you." It's unparalleled. All right, but that is a legitimate benefit to joining the military. And the last benefit that people aren't really aware of is that you are actually developing leadership skills and entrepreneurial skills that you would never be aware of. Never. In the military, as you promote, you get assigned into leadership positions. You almost get forced into it, right? And if you're really good at it, you kind of get promoted a little bit faster. But as you're getting assigned to these positions, the military is taking you to leadership training to make sure that you know how to effectively lead. But see, these leadership skills don't come very often in the civilian world. Okay. So coming into the military in roughly maybe 2 or 3 years, you can be an NCO, right? An E5, a sergeant. In order to be a sergeant, you have to go and actually take some leadership development skills. At 23 years old, you're already taking leadership skills, and it can be much faster, right? Because you can join at 17, and then therefore you're a sergeant at 20. At 20 years old, you're getting leadership development where other people are just coming out of college looking for jobs, right? Not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but what you don't understand is that is truly a benefit because that's a practical experience. Then not to mention the things with organization, communication, logistics handling, team leading, all these different things are perfect skill sets to actually perform in the entrepreneurial space when you start your own business, when you start your own side hustle. And so that's why I'm so adamant that every veteran should go out and pursue multiple avenues, right? Because you guys have the skill set, time management, all that good stuff, right? Discipline. And that's one of the benefits that's almost intangible, right? You can't really touch it, but it is so imperative by joining the military that you actually get that skill set so you can use it somewhere else. All right, guys, I know that was pretty quick, but that was 12 benefits of joining the military that many people are not aware of. If you enjoyed the content, go ahead. I'm going to say it again. Hit them with the likes. Put some in the comments below. What are some benefits that we didn't touch on that are really big, right? Maybe disability, right? There's some bonuses that we didn't even talk about. What are some of the big benefits that you see, as an active duty soldier, as a guard, a reservist, whatever, or somebody potentially coming to join the military? And you're like, man, that's some good stuff. We didn't really hit on that, right? Go ahead and drop it in below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, this is Mike Glassman signing off.